Hey guys, before we get into the video, I just want to add that a lot of this was rough getting up into an edit. So there is possibly some missing stuff, and also our quality is not the best right now. But we should be back to full good quality by next episode. This is still a work in progress, but thanks for understanding. On to the video.
C and E are here, but we got David in the cut now. And we're
Let's
not
go.
talking ball today,
Let's
ladies
go.
and gentlemen. We are not talking ball. We are talking MCU specifically. But in the future, we will talk more movies. But today is MCU specific. We are going to go over Fantastic Four, because Fantastic Four comes out this week. We are going to go over some hot takes. And we are going to go over some of our top 10 movies in the MCU. Boys, how's it going? Because I know this is new to David, so I'm sure he's a little nervous, as me and Cameron were when we started this a while ago.
Palms are sweaty. I'll say that. I will say that. But I'm excited to speak about my favorite genre of movie. So I'm ready to get this show on the road.
I'm definitely excited to be back under a different, under different content.
Yeah.
I think
We decided, well, with all these new movies coming out, we all are nerds, right? We're nerds. However, we're not super nerds. So there has been a lot of stuff we have not seen in the past. There's been a lot of movies that, like, you'd be shocked at some of the movies we have not seen.
Yeah.
But we're doing this for fun. We have to emphasize this. This is something we are doing for fun. This is not something
unserious.
This is something that,
real.
and then we are going to see how this goes. If you guys like it, let us know. If you don't like it, also let us know. So then we'll just stop
if you don't like
it.
the way I sound,
Any feedback.
If you don't like the way Cameron looks, comment that.
All right.
We try.
Whatever the case may be.
Bro,
any feedback better than no feedback.
Bro, maybe this kid's not nervous. This kid's coming out firing.
Dude, we'll see. I can already feel
All
my
right,
knees
boys.
starting to give out.
All right, boys. So, to start, Fantastic Four. Oh yeah, also we have nothing set in stone. A lot of this will be on the fly, and then as we move on, this is kind of like how we started originally with the sports stuff, but because this is more opinionated, we don't really know exactly where we're going to end up. So this is kind of just something we're trying, and then as we go on, it'll probably get better.
It'll flow.
Also, I have a horrible setup right now. Cameron has a horrible setup right now, and David kind of has. And then I don't know. I don't know if he's.
Guys, I'm sorry. This is the guys.
I mean, honestly, his looks better than ours right now. iPhone
camera quality is way better than both of ours.
iPhone quality has definitely upped its game, but
Oh yeah.
Yes, I will be at my actual setup literally tomorrow. So, and I know Cameron will get his camera at some point. Whether that's this week, next week, I don't know. It'll be soon.
Next episode. Yeah.
So this will not be the set in stone quality of the podcast.
Yeah, it looks like we're talking through a microwave right now. It's not looking too good.
All right, so to start, Fantastic Four. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hype are you guys for Fantastic Four?
Cameron, you go first.
All right. Honestly, and I'm gonna set it off strong right now. I'm legitimately like out of 10 because of the quality of.
10?
I'm out of 10 because the quality of.
How about this? We'll do before the reviews. Where were you at? And after the reviews, where are you at now?
I've been at a 10 the whole time, simply because of the way that superhero movies have been seemingly underwhelming, and I think the only good one that we've had come out recently was Thunderbolts. It's been very dry.
For MCU.
Specifically on the MCU side.
Because this kid has not seen Superman, ladies and gentlemen. This bum has not seen Superman.
It'll happen. I'm not hating.
I've seen it for a third time on Tuesday. Next Tuesday, and this kid has not seen it once.
It's unreal.
Sorry, Cameron. You can bootleg it.
We'll make it happen. I'm not hating on it. I just haven't had the time to go see it. But specifically, when it comes to the MCU, just it's been seemingly dry for a really long time. They've put out like kind of mid to low quality movies. They had problems with where they were going to focus the coming storyline, and the way that I see this is like, we're kind of on an up and up. Thunderbolts was really good. Fantastic Four is already a established character base that is loved by a lot of people. It had a really good movie, it had a really bad movie, and now I think we're back to it becoming an actual like part of the
Not
storyline.
even, not even really bad. We're talking one of the worst movies.
Yeah,
one of the worst comic
worst.
book movies
Which one?
ever
Michael B.
made.
Jordan's?
Yes, yeah, that one,
Miles
Miles
Teller,
Teller,
Michael B. Jordan.
yeah, that one was
I mean-
atrocious, and
I mean, we're talking about The Thing got his catchphrase from his brother that used to beat his ass when
Yeah.
he was a kid. Like, what are we doing? What were we doing, Fox?
I
What
think
we're
it's,
doing.
I think it's more centered towards the fact that this is a well-known, established, group of characters. They're finally getting like a debut into like main story, like interconnected with the Avengers and the actual, saga that's continuing right now. And most importantly, this movie is like the final step into the new Avengers and the new saga and what's going to happen with Doom coming up, which is, I personally think a better step than where Kang was going. So I think overall it's just an exciting movie with Galactus being a part of it, a very well-known character base being a part of it, and then it leading into what it's going to lead into. I think easily 10 out of 10. Very excited to go see this.
Now, the one point that you made that I do kind of wanna talk about is you said that this is like actually integrated with everything. It actually isn't. It is in its own universe to start. Obviously, at the end, we all know that Fantastic Four, the cast is fully set for Doomsday. However, this is going to be in a universe, like you said, though, that they are fully set. That this is an established group so there's no origin story, but this is I think it's the style that they went for is like a retro like 60s vibe.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so this is technically a different universe from where the Avengers are right now. However, as we saw at the end of Thunderbolts in the post-credit scene, they are flying into the
I think it kind of
atmosphere for
goes
that.
without saying.
It's
It's like,
actually, you're
obviously we're not.
And I think that this being them being their own standalone group for this movie, I think it's going to help it out a lot. I really think it's going to help it out a lot.
Definitely, because they are their main group on whatever universe they're from. They are what the people look up to, and they're not the Avengers. There's like, you have what 616 is where the Avengers is. That's the main storyline.
Here's the thing: no one knows.
No one really knows
because you got Kevin Feige who says it's 616. However, they made a joke in Across the Spider-Verse when Miguel O'Hara said Doctor Strange and that little nerd back on Earth 199999 whatever it is. So no one knows, but like you were saying, like
it's a different Earth. Different Earth.
Yeah, it is a different Earth.
Yeah, it's a different verse, and we're getting one movie on this Earth. We're not getting a backstory. We're getting an established story that leads directly into them being
interesting that
established
you say
into
that.
The main.
Interesting that you say that
MCU.
because there have been reports that I have seen on Twitter that some of the shots for Doomsday have been filmed in the Fantastic Four universe. So they might be going back and forth potentially. Because also Reed Richards is supposed to be the main lead of Doomsday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I mean, yes,
that could add a nice element to Doomsday.
It could, and it's all dependent on I think what happens in the movie for sure. Like what ends up happening to their home planet, because you obviously see what happens to them in the Thunderbolts post-credit scene, and they're fleeing.
We can assume
what we can
what's
assume
happening.
is they are
assume
fleeing.
What's happening? Yes.
But I mean, we can shift. David, what are your thoughts?
Hype rating. Scale
Hype
1
rating?
to 10. Were you hyped? Were you the same amount of hyped before the reviews came out? Or was it different when the reviews came out?
So, I think hype rating, honestly, before, mine's a little lower. Okay, I'm not really
That's
that big
fair.
of a Fantastic
That's fair.
Four guy. I was probably at probably say a 7. Realistically, a 7. Because I'm not a big Fantastic Four guy. I mean, I like them, I know them. But I'm not really the biggest fan of them. I think, Cameron, you probably like them a lot more, so yours
Definitely.
naturally going to be a little bit higher, more hyped up, which I understand. I think after the audience score that we're seeing, or was it Tomato Meter? Or is it the Tomato Meter? Being at like, I think a mid 80 right now.
The last I saw, it was at an 87.
Perfect. If
Which
that's
is good. That's good.
that
is
honestly,
definitely
that
good.
makes mine go up to an 8. 8 because I think just the fact that people are liking it and the fact that gives us something to watch on Friday or whenever you guys are watching it Thursday. And it's going to lead us into, the next big Avengers movie. So there's going to be a lot of things they talk about, a lot of things they go over, which that will be, that'll be pretty cool how they can wrap that all up. And, how long is this movie? Do we know that yet? 2.5 hours?
It's only. Honestly, I think the official runtime was an hour and 55 minutes, so it is on the shorter end. But they did. I don't know if you guys knew about this famous actor John Malkovich. For me personally, I don't know what else he plays in. All I know is that he's a very big actor, and people were very excited for him to be in this movie. He got cut at the end. At the very end, he got cut to make. They wanted to make this. I'm pretty sure they wanted to make this kind of like a more action-packed, just like shorter runtime, because you don't have to go through the backstory with all this stuff, which is kind of like Superman. Superman wasn't a super long movie necessarily, but again, that was already an established. That was an established. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be good though. I think the fact that there is no backstory and that they are established makes almost a 2-hour movie where because essentially the first 30 minutes of Fantastic Four
I'll just double
movie.
check really quick.
Okay. But yeah, the first 30 minutes they have to, build up the fact that they're astronauts and they go into space and something happens to them where they get these abilities. So the fact that they're able to cut 30 minutes out, I feel like because it needs to take like 30 or 40 minutes to build that up, where we can just go into a 2-hour segment or a 2-hour movie of an established, it's really, really good. I think it'll be really fun to watch.
So interesting. I was right. So it is an 150 minutes, an hour and 55. But originally it was 130 minutes. So they cut out a whole 15 minutes of the movie. So whatever they did, they probably had another villain or another like side story that they ended up cutting because it probably was too cluttered.
Right. Okay. So we'll see how it goes though. I'm relatively excited. I think I was like my Superman movie excitement. We won't talk about that too much, but my Superman movie excitement was like a 10 to just kind of compare it because I was really excited for that movie. But this is still something I'm gonna, definitely excited to see, and I'm looking forward to seeing. But we'll see how it goes. I hope it does good. I really do.
So here's the thing: when I every single Marvel movie that comes out.
Sorry, I just had to point it out. No pun intended on here's the thing. My fault.
Okay, so for every Marvel movie that does come out in theaters, I do get excited. I should clarify. Every MCU movie, because a lot of the Sonyverse, we all know, it's putrid. But most MCU movies that come out, I am very excited for. So just off natural excitement, before the reviews came out, I was probably where David was right now at like an 8 out of 10. Also because I do like Pedro Pascal, and I do like the actor that plays. Well, I like Joseph Quinn, who plays Johnny Storm, and then Ebon
Moss, whatever his name
is.
He was in
or
the Bear.
However you say his last name. Yeah, he was in The Bear. He played Richie, and I love that series as well. The only one that I don't know a lot about is Vanessa Kirby. I know she's a very big actress, but I just don't know a lot about her.
I think I'm in the same boat with you on that. Is the fact that there's so many like relevant and like a lot of like there's 3 actors in there that I very much like the characters they play in different shows and movies, and I think that is probably a strong reason why I'm so excited for it.
And a lot of the things also, I feel like it's Pedro Pascal is an actor I feel like the Marvel needed. He can be as charismatic as an actor like Robert Downey Jr. potentially, as you see in some of his other movies, like or like TV shows. Like obviously, I know some people didn't like. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I know there was a lot of hate for the last season of The Last of Us. What are some other movies he has been?
That wasn't centered towards him and the acting though. That was centered towards the way that they altered the storyline. So like he did play he played a huge role in that, and he played a great lead role in that TV show.
So yeah, but he has a good range, in my opinion, of certain movies, and also he can be very charismatic, just like Robert Downey Jr. can. And when you're playing a guy like Reed Richards, who is supposed to be the universe, or what is it? It's like the smartest man in all the multiverse or whatever. You need somebody that can be the lead guy, and as we now know that he is the lead in Doomsday. I think Pedro Pascal, even
I
before
agree.
all the reviews came out, I really thought he was a great casting for Reed Richards because I also that specific role of him being super smart, I feel like I feel like he's gonna play that very well. Now, before I saw the reviews, probably an 8 out of 10, 8.5, just like off my regular Marvel bias. However, after the reviews came out, I saw the 88% that it debuted on Rotten Tomatoes. Dude, I'm with Cameron, man. I'm
10,
fully expecting this
10.
movie to be like an 8.5 or higher now. Like
Yeah.
I
that's where
think
I'm going in now.
I agree. I think it could definitely be an 8.5. I hopefully it can reach a top 10 Marvel movie. That'd be great if it reaches a top 10.
Here's the other thing. Um, Superman, when Superman was originally coming out, I didn't care a ton about it. Obviously, I knew James Gunn was doing it, and my hype level is probably at like a 7 out of 10, or like maybe even like a 6.5. But then the reviews came out for that movie, and I was like, oh, I'm ready to see this movie because I know it's going to be good. If a James Gunn movie is being received by critics very well, you know that shit's going to bang.
It's a good, yes.
It's so good. Obviously, we're not going to talk about it too much because
Yeah, Cameron, but it's okay.
bro is
We can-
selling. He is selling.
We can use this as a segue to host our theories about what it's going to lead to in Avengers Doomsday.
What is gonna happen? Or you can just say what do you think's gonna happen in Fantastic Four? What is a prediction you have? Or also what we can do at the end of this segment is also give our predictions for what you think the final score is what you think the score is gonna be when you're coming out of the movie.
Okay,
We'll start with theories.
Before we
start with theories.
Dive into this. Before we dive into this, my problem is that I also know a lot about some of the bigger comics. And I don't know how relevant either of you guys are on that side of things.
I have no clue.
And that's
Absolutely
the problem
no idea.
because I know what happens in the comics at this point, and that's what drives me to decide that I think I know how this is going to go.
Okay.
So
That's fair. That's fair.
So if you know the comic run of this specific universe, maybe just give what you think the post-credit scenes are going to be.
I will because there's obviously, and they've done it plenty of times before, where they go off of the comic storyline onto their own storyline. They've done it plenty of times. It's hard to sit here and give you what happens in the comics and then expect you guys to not walk into the movie expecting anything other than that. Because obviously the actual plot of the movie, I have no idea what's going to happen, but at the end of it, I have an idea because I know what leads to what. And
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't want to be that guy that potentially spoils it for you, because if they do go off of comic book accuracy, which what seems like they're trying to do with having Reed being the lead that he is and not being a superhero, being the smartest man on earth, kind of Reed Richards, they're going more for comic book accuracy, and that's where I'm hesitant.
I think we just lead into the post-credit scene then, because I think we just avoid that topic altogether.
So, David, for you, David, obviously, now that we know that the Fantastic Four, they're leaving their Earth at some point.
Right.
They are leaving their Earth at some point. Do you think it is because of do you think it'll be because like Galactus takes over completely, or do you think it's like, or like maybe he steals Franklin or something like that, or crazy, maybe this is definitely a long shot, but do you think maybe Doctor Doom shows up at the end of the movie?
That's exactly what I feel like they have to show Doctor Doom in this post-credit scene. Like, there's been no
post-credit scene for sure.
There's no, because if you think about it, Avengers had some villain almost that was we saw at the end of the movie that we were going to see in the future, right? And Fantastic Four is the last movie till the next Avengers movie. So I feel like they almost have to show this because at the end of Age of Ultron, right? You see Thanos. I think you see Thanos where he says, "Fine, I'll do it myself." I think
you could even go back to Avengers.
Right,
he was in the original Avengers movie too.
You see, right?
Yeah,
and you see, obviously, it's a larger time frame where Thanos was built up over time. But I think they have to show Doctor Doom in the post-credit scene. I feel like if they don't, it's almost like a mystery. Like how is he even relevant to the story at this point if he just comes in for one movie? And it's like
Well,
Hopefully,
he'll still be the main villain for Secret Wars as well.
right. But
Yeah.
at least for this first movie,
Yeah.
like how is he gonna just come in out of nowhere, right? So, but
And
hopefully
I especially agree with you because of how long of a break we are going to be in between movies for Marvel specifically.
yes.
Because
Yeah.
at the very least, obviously barring any delays with Spider-Man Brand New Day, and also Spider-Man Brand New Day is not even supposed to really be connected with the Avengers. It'll be at a minimum of around a year until our next Marvel movie. So if they don't give us something crazy in the post-credit scene,
I mean, it's
then
the end. It's the end of
nobody's gonna
what?
be ready.
What is it? Phase. What
No,
number
Phase
is
6. Fantastic Four starts off Phase 6.
Okay, so it starts
Okay.
at
It is
Phase
the first.
6.
Yes, it is
Okay,
the very.
I think
and
I
that's,
couldn't remember if it was the last or the first of a new phase,
and that's what Feige
Um,
was. And that's what Feige was like, fully trying to like establish that like you do not have to watch anything. This is the beginning of a phase. This is the beginning of a new team that you guys haven't seen before. You don't need to do homework. Because a lot of the time before like all of this before all the firings and stuff at Marvel and the rehiring of like, or not rehiring, the overhaul I should say, of all the like graphic work or the design teams and whatnot. It was just I've heard like some people I heard on, it was like homework to watch these movies. Like you're just
To
there,
stay
and
relevant.
it felt boring. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like it
stay
felt
relevant.
boring.
Yeah.
It didn't feel necessarily fun to go, like you weren't all this hyped up to go see a Marvel movie anymore. But now
I
when
do
Thunderbolts
think,
came
though-
out, and now we don't know what's gonna happen.
I do think though that it was kind of like a building phase because I mean, I like the first Iron movies, I like the first Captain America movies and Thor movies, but they didn't like if someone were to watch that, right? Because Iron Man, there was nothing before that, so to speak, for the MCU build up. Like no one's probably like looking forward to like this Iron Man movie because he wasn't that popular. I mean, he was popular, but not that popular as he is right now before at the MCU. So when Iron Man came out, it was probably like kind of a mild reaction that people got. It wasn't something that really excited them too much, and that's what I think we just went through, just a huge building phase. And I didn't really watch a lot of it because, like, you're right, it kind of felt like homework. It felt like something that was a chore that had to be done. But I think that since we're done with that building phase, where they can start an actual storyline now with those characters they just revealed, I think that's probably what it was trying to go for.
Well, to touch on that, I think the absolute hardest part about what ended up happening in the past however many years, with Marvel, was not centered towards one building phase. It was building up Kang Dynasty and then that getting scrapped at like where it was going to be at like now with Doom. Because the problem was they built up Kang through so many movies and so many TV shows, and they started introducing all these characters to have the multiverse and have all of these characters come together at a certain point, and then they had to scrap it. And then now we've got to build on something else.
They need to focus on one timeline, and
exactly.
right now they're
and
on
that was what
however
happened
many
was,
timelines.
And that was the problem, was that this got scrapped, so now they have to scramble to figure out what to focus on and how to keep these other characters relevant. And that's been the biggest problem, I believe.
Obviously,
one second, Cameron. I'm sorry to interrupt. Hey, do you have a little bit of an echo, Cameron, or is it my earbud?
It might be yours. I don't know.
I think it's your earbud. You're fine
Earbud.
on this end, Loki.
Okay, speak one more time, Cameron.
You good? Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Good. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What were we talking about? Oh yeah.
Kang shift.
Yeah, and I think the Kang shift, they did kind of get lucky.
Bro,
with
my
the
power
whole-
just went out, bro. There's no way.
Oh my god.
There's no shot, dude.
Oh my All right. Sorry. As you can see, somebody lost power.
It's back. We're good. It's the fan light kind of takes
No.
the entire light
Don't.
energy from my entire
I don't want to hear
household.
excuses. I don't don't want to hear excuses.
I gotta
This
let
kid
you
was not
losers out
prepared.
just now.
Clearly, this kid, he's new. Of course, the newbie, you know.
Newbie.
The
Dude, I
newbie.
thought I was tweaking, bro. I thought I went blind for a second. but then I still hear Eric and Cameron talking, and I saw them, and I thought it was okay.
All right, so where we were at before the little mishap was we were talking about how they scrapped everything with King Dynasty, and how I was about to say that they kind of had a cop-out with what happened with Jonathan Majors. Obviously, we'll not go into detail about that, because if you know, you know.
Still great
but
actor, by the way. Sorry to say, but still
what
great
he
actor.
was in before, I mean, on screen,
great guy.
he don't miss. He don't miss.
He don't miss.
On screen, he don't miss. We don't need to talk about what happened,
We don't need to
but
talk about off screen.
they did have a
Off-screen,
cop
he
out.
doesn't miss either.
yo.
Oh, it was good, Cameron.
Oh my
Anyways,
God.
anyways.
All
They
right.
had
So
to scrap
King
it all.
Dynasty scrapped. They kind of had a cop out, but recently there was an interview that released about from Kevin Feige that said they were already on their way to scrapping it before all that happened. Anyways, how much of that is true, I don't know.
believe that, but
And maybe
But-
the Jonathan Majors thing was also a
Either
catalyst
way-
for them to also cancel it. You know, maybe it was
Yeah,
just
They
I
may
think
have
it was
it may have
definitely-
sparked an idea, like
100%.
because with the way Quantumania was received, and then also with how everything felt stale, it didn't feel like something was built up. Nothing felt like it was being
Yeah.
built up to this big, giant,
feel cohesive.
like Thanos level threat. Like, so
And I think that
Obviously
the biggest
that got
problem that
scrapped.
came with that was the fact that instead of staying on their normal track of the main storyline being what was in the movies and what people went to go watch in the movie theaters, they made Loki the biggest, like, the most important watch part of the Kang Dynasty. Was like, you had to watch Loki to understand what kind of, like, threat Kang was. And that was the biggest
Again,
problem. Is I
and
don't
then
think a
back
lot
to
of
our
people-
point earlier,
Yeah.
everything felt like homework.
Everything
You had to
felt
keep
like
up.
homework,
You
yes.
had
to
to.
watch all the TV shows, all the movies, and they were like
and not to
dropping things
mention-
like that.
Not to mention, some of the characters are just really, like, they almost just felt very unlikable. I don't like Captain Marvel. I'm sorry to say it. I
Well,
don't really like
I
Captain
mean-
Marvel. Just kind of,
That's fair. And also, I feel like they focus on the wrong characters sometimes. That's what I feel. I feel like they focus on, like,
I mean, do we even want
obviously,
to talk about Ironheart?
right, like,
have
you seen it?
I didn't finish that, but I'm not gonna lie. It
I don't
really
think
wasn't
anybody-
that bad.
It
I really
wasn't that bad, but
enjoyed the episodes that I did watch.
I'm not entirely saying that it was just this horrible show.
But yes,
And I'm not centering
focusing
that
on
any other way.
Riri Williams, like
I'm
I
focusing
don't-
on the fact that character was a part of a comic that failed, and they're pushing this for MCU. That was the biggest problem for me. Was
Is
that
it-
you
is
look
she
at a
even
failing
gonna be
comic and say,
connected
"This
to
is the
Doomsday?
next big character." And
Do you think she's
that's,
going to play a part in
I mean-
Doomsday?
I don't think
Oh
so. No.
yeah, for sure. No, God, for sure. Yes, dude.
You
Do you know how
think so?
smart
You
she
really-
is? Do you know how smart she is?
You really think they're going to push her after the TV show? You really
Dude,
think
she's
they're
just
going to
a
push her
li-
after the TV show?
Bro, the TV show got received very well. I don't know what you're talking about. It
I
has
haven't
like a
seen
it
anything
has like
about
a
it being received
it
well.
has like a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the popcorn meter. I forget what it was. I think the popcorn meter got because it was the bombarding of
Well,
people.
they say
just
it got
hate
review
reading it.
tanked. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was. It literally, the show was out for 10, 20 minutes, and everybody put in their reviews at like all were negative reviews.
I don't know. I just feel like they introduced the wrong characters at the wrong
no.
times, and then they try to make
No,
up for it by putting a different character. Like they did it with Love and Thunder. They had Gore in there. They did it with Ironheart, and since you
That
bring
wasn't a bad
Mephisto-
character. That was the wrong time.
You bring
Well,
Mephisto
yeah,
into
for-
Ironheart, and that's just like
I
it
think the
doesn't
two
seem
main
right.
ones. I really think the two main ones that people were like, "Oh, the MCU is starting to get trash," is when they made a whole show about Agatha and Echo.
Yeah.
Like,
That-
what are
I
we
don't-
doing?
I don't know what
Nobody
Echo
cared.
was. I don't
Huh?
know what Echo is. What do you mean is Echo?
Exactly. That's my point
Like,
right
I
there. That's the
genuinely-
late. That's the. Oh wait, he doesn't even know who Echo is because he hasn't seen Hawkeye either.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
I'm telling.
Basically, it is the most pointless, boring show you've ever watched in your life. They literally
No.
dropped all the episodes in one day. That's how they were so like not confident in it that they literally tried something new with dropping all the episodes in at once.
Well, thank you for saving me. 6 hours.
Do not
however long
watch
is.
it. Do not watch it. It is
Yeah.
it is not good. And the same thing with Agatha. I didn't watch Agatha, but it's because I don't really care about Agatha. They chose like the wrong characters.
I mean, you had
Now,
an incredible show like WandaVision, and you push a character like Agatha
Right,
for their own.
I have
TV
to
show.
rewatch that because I was not
WandaVision
as
was
high
really
on.
good.
I was not
I
as high
like
when I
WandaVision.
originally watched it, but it's been what 5 years now, 4 years,
That
something
show
like
was
that,
very,
and
very good.
I need to
Yeah.
rewatch it because I don't think
It gives you.
I don't think I
true
gave it a
glimpse-
fair chance.
It gives you a true glimpse as to, and so does Multiverse of Madness, but it gives you a true glimpse as to like how strong of a character Scarlet Witch actually is,
Yeah,
and how important
right.
she could be because she, you know, in a comic book sense, she's one of the strongest characters in the verse, and it's
Yeah.
like you don't see that in MCU. You get glimpses of it
Yeah.
in WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness. That's it though. But
All right, so we're kind of getting off topic here. We were talking about the whole timeline with Doom and
Yeah.
Kang and how that swapped, and then we were also talking about Fantastic Four. So, real quick before anything else, we'll go over. So we all think that Doom will be in the post-credit scene, correct?
100%.
Correct.
At the very least, in the
At the very
post-credit scene.
least, yeah.
At the very least, we'll be in the
They
post-credit
might.
scene. Now,
They could show him in the movie itself. I wouldn't
that
be
is
surprised
true.
if
I
they-
wouldn't be shocked, or they maybe do something in the background that might be a hint at Doom or something like that, or a hint at what he's
Yeah.
going to look like, possibly.
Yeah.
However, I'm going to build on the post-credit question. Do you think we see Robert Downey Jr.'s face, or do you think it will be fully suited and we will not see
No,
him at
I
all?
don't, I don't think we see his face. I don't think we see his face.
That's fair.
First of
I
all,
agree with you.
I
as
don't
well.
think we
First of all,
do either.
Specifically, bro, I don't think
What?
they're
You
going
don't wait.
to spend.
Wait. What do you mean you don't do either?
I don't think we do. I don't think we do either. Like not like saying like either option. I'm saying I don't think we see his face.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
oh,
I was
sorry.
like, I was like, what? I was like,
I-
more with it. Yeah.
yeah.
I apologize.
I think speaking just from a money standpoint, Robert Downey Jr. is too expensive. Like it's too much. They're gonna just show.
Yeah,
like,
I was seeing theories. I was also seeing theories also that like there may be a different Doom and he's just there to get people. No,
Yeah.
they're paying him like how much? I forget how much for each movie. It's like 10 mil or something.
They're gonna. It's
crazy,
he's too much
something
money
insane.
for just a few minutes of screen time at the most. A few minutes. They're probably gonna do a few seconds. It's gonna be a
But
few
you
seconds
never know.
realistically.
You never know because you can very obviously tell that if you watched the Thunderbolts post-credit scene, that post-credit scene was filmed on Doomsday set, and they.
Oh yeah. Oh, and also yes, the director of Fantastic Four did confirm that the post credit scene for the main post credit because there is two.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's two of them. The main post credit scene for Fantastic Four was filmed by the Russo brothers. So
Yeah.
at the very least, it is going to be probably,
It's gonna
if
be
anything,
Doomsday
an
set.
extension of probably some sort of extension of the Thunderbolts post credit scene.
Yeah.
And then it's
That's
just
fair.
whether or not a certain whether or not Doom's gonna be in or not. All right. So last question on Fantastic Four: what do you think your rating will be when you walk out of the theater on? We're all seeing this on Friday, right?
Seeing it Friday
I'm gonna
night.
try
Yep.
my best. Yeah.
Okay.
Friday or Saturday.
All right.
Well,
So-
the obvious answer, I hope it's a 10. You know, I hope every movie I watch is always a 10.
That
but
is true.
Realistically, I think it's going to probably be. Actually, I don't know. I feel like that's such a. Maybe. Minimum 7. I think minimum 7.
7? That's
Minimum.
dude,
minimum.
That's
minimum. I don't think
okay.
it's gonna,
But what do you think? What do you think? Obviously, you say minimum, but give me your exact score. You think how much you're gonna like it?
actor
like, how
choices
much
are
do
good.
you-
Actors are good. I think Silver Surfer, her lines that we've all heard look good. The Galactus, bit they showed. Probably an 8. Probably an 8 because of the
That's
fact
fair.
that it just because all we can base it off are just the trailers, and I guess the
That
audience
is true.
score or tomato meter, but based
Yeah.
off the trailers and the tomato meter, I think it's an 8. I feel like 8's a good score.
Mm-hmm.
It could possibly be a 9 or even a 10, but
Here's the
Probably
thing.
an 8.
You think it'll be an 8. You hope it's higher.
I think it's an 8. I want it to be a 10. Obviously, right?
Yes.
Right. Cameron.
And then
thoughts?
Cameron, what do you think your rating will
I
be?
think it's
walking out of the
simple. I
theater?
mean, my pre-rating was a 10. I have 100% high hopes that I'm gonna walk out of that movie theater with the mindset that I have walking into it, in the sense that I want to walk out of that
So
movie
you
theater
think- so
saying
you
it's
think
going to
it'll-
be a 10. I
Right.
Do
think
you
I'm
think
going
it
to.
might
fair.
be the best Marvel movie ever,
I mean,
or at least
is
top
that what
five.
you're
Do you think-
considering a 10?
I think
there's
10's
very
gonna be
few.
more.
Honestly, there are very few 10 out of 10s
I
in my
guess that's
opinion
fair.
in
That is
Marvel.
fair.
But I feel like Jesus. There's very few perfect Marvel movies, but there also is a lot of really good.
I feel
think
like
they're
it's hard
solid.
to mess this up. I feel like it's really hard to mess this up, and that's what I have a lot of hope for, is the fact that this is such a crucial movie in
Yes.
in this sense. I think it's going to be hard for them to mess this up. And it's hard to not sit there. It's not I say it's not hard. It's it's upsetting to see people sit there and nitpick the small things. Like, I can't tell you how many people I've seen sit there and nitpick what we've seen in the trailers for Reed Richards CGI. It's like, I'm not gonna walk out of the movie theater and be like, oh wow, the CGI wasn't the best. That's gonna make this movie a 9 now.
That-
Like,
I agree with that. I think people who watch the movies and try to find flaws are the people who find the flaws.
that's the
I
problem.
literally made a
if you
TikTok
watch-
about this months ago.
If you
Months ago,
watch
dude.
a movie with not having a bad intent,
You
or
go with the
having, like,
mindset
some, like,
that you
very,
want to
like,
find what's wrong.
Exactly.
Right,
This is
right.
what happened with Captain America: Brave New World. This is exactly what we're talking about happened with Captain America: Brave New World, in my opinion.
And
People
I think also-
were openly looking to find something to hate about that movie.
Right. And I think it's the same thing with a lot of these movies, right? You see a lot of people who say a movie's bad coming out of it. Oh, the CGI, this and that. No, if you are not looking for that, you are not going to notice it. If you're watching for the plot and watching for the cool fight scenes, the cool action scenes, or whatever it is, how the character develops, and you're not looking at how Reed Richards' leg is going to twist around a pole, okay? Then
Exactly.
you'll be
This guy's
okay.
cooking. This guy's
You'll
cooking.
be-
This
you'll be
guy's
okay.
cooking.
You have to go into it with high hopes, and that's why I have.
Yeah.
That's why I have.
Well, not
the
necessarily
mindset
high
that I
hopes.
have.
Open mind. Open
Open
mind.
mind.
You go
Open
in
mind.
it with you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't. Well, I mean, obviously you kind of know what's gonna happen, but like go in it with you don't know how good this movie's gonna be. You don't know that if it's gonna be good. You don't know if it's gonna be bad. But don't go in there thinking, oh, this is gonna be a bad movie. I'm not gonna like this. Just
And
give it
that's
a chance, man.
Personally, why I think I'm going to walk out of that movie theater, with that movie being a 9 out of 10. Well,
Yeah,
9
that's fair.
Or 9
I-
or a 10 on my,
and I'm gonna-
my personal
and I'm gonna-
rating.
And I'm gonna agree with you, Cameron, as well. I believe when I'm out of that theater, I'm going to say that movie was. I don't think it'll be better than Superman. I think it's
That's
gonna be
the thing.
about right below it. I think it's gonna be a 9 out of 10 because originally I had Superman at a 9 out of 10, 4.5 stars, 4.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. However, upon rewatch, I brought Superman up to a 10 because the two little
Wow.
things that I had about Superman. I kind
Don't
of it
spoil
went
it
away
'cause
upon
this man,
rewatch.
Cameron, you gotta watch it. So we won't mention.
Like
it,
I
but,
said, I
yeah.
think this movie will be my second or third favorite movie of the year. At the very least, it'll be behind Superman and Sinners, because Sinners was
Okay.
amazing.
Sinners is good.
Agreed.
So I think it'll be a 9 to 9.5 out of 10. All right,
I like
so
that.
that's what we
Segueing
think
to
about
the-
Fantastic Four. Let us know what you think about Fantastic Four, and also on Friday after we leave the movie theater, what we potentially will try to do, as long as Cameron also sees the movie on Friday, hopefully, is we're gonna make a little emergency, like 20-minute podcast, possibly, of giving our spoiler-free thoughts about the movie, like fresh out the theater, just. Or maybe what else we'll do is maybe we'll have each three of us post like a 1-minute TikTok about it.
Yeah,
We could do that
Or
too,
that.
possibly.
Or that.
I like that.
All right, moving on to the next thing. We are gonna go into MCU hot takes because I know we have a couple.
Let me just start with
but-
mine.
All right, if he
wanna
wants, he
start
wants to
mine.
start off.
I wanna start.
So I'll go last because honestly, I still kind of think about mine. But
We'll just
You go ahead,
we'll
Damon.
do one each. We'll do one each because I think
we'll do one each. Okay, we'll do
I
one
have my
each.
big one. I have my big one.
Yeah.
I think the episodes and shows ruined Marvel. Like genuinely ruined Marvel.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't think it ruins
Like,
it.
think
You say
the
ruined,
fact-
so you think like
Yeah,
it
ruined
literally
is a
has
strong
destroyed
word.
Marvel. You think it has destroyed
Okay,
Marvel throughout
ruined,
the year.
ruined is
That's-
not the right word then I guess. I think it is made the Marvel watching experience drastically worse. Like drastically worse.
Oh, I don't. It depends.
Hear me out.
See, here's
You
the
gotta hear
thing.
me out.
You're talking about all shows, and you have not seen some of the good ones.
Right. No, but I'm not even.
That's true.
Right. You gotta hear me out on this. I think after Endgame, when they started these shows, it's not something that you can watch for 2 hours on one night. You know, let's say twice or three times a year, right? I think they probably only release 2 movies a year, right? You know, and it feels like homework and it feels like something you need to catch up on all the time. You need to stay on top of. If you are not actively watching these movies, and the fact that they're going to have an impact on a movie that a lot more people are going to see, because right, more people see the movies than they do watch the shows, right? I mean, that's more people are going to
Well,
watch
yeah.
Fantastic Four than there are more people that are ever have watched what's a show for we'll do Ironheart. Obviously, it's a lesser tier show because not a lot of people know about her anyway, but. Um, I just think that the fact that you have something you need to constantly be on top of ruins the experience almost because I just want to be able to watch, let's say, this next Marvel movie, Fantastic Four, and then just have to review that right before Doomsday and it still be a cohesive story. There shouldn't have to be two or three more subplots that happen between there, but that can actually affect that Doomsday plot.
Well, I think that builds on what we were talking about earlier about the whole like the split off from the Kang storyline because right around that time when they started doing the TV shows was when they were pushing that. And I'll be honest with you, bro, I think there's more of the Disney Plus Marvel shows that I haven't watched than I have watched. And I'm still relevant on the storyline. I think it's more or less about being relevant, like knowing which TV shows are actually relevant to the current
Okay, that's
storyline. And
yep,
watching the ones that get the good reviews and watching the ones that, after some time, like even if you don't watch them on release, wait for all the episodes to be out and then wait for everybody to start talking about it, see what they build on because they were going through that phase trying to figure out what they were going to build on, and I think that was the
right,
problem. But like I
yeah,
said, I've probably watched less of the shows than I haven't watched. Like there's
yeah.
probably only a few, and there's a lot more that I haven't even wanted to watch.
Like for example, let's say because there is definitely somebody who watched Thunderbolts without having watched the Captain America and or the Falcon
I
and the
was
Winter Soldier,
I was one of
right?
them. I
Right.
swear to God, I was one of them.
And but Thunderbolts does a good job on kind of going over John Walker as like you don't have to necessarily watch that series, right?
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
understand John Walker's sort of
I'm sorry.
you know
I
character.
thought you might have been talking about Captain America: Brave New World.
Oh
I
no,
You
no,
apologize.
didn't
I
watch
did.
that?
No, I did not watch that, and I'm glad I didn't because the only relevant piece to the storyline is the fact that Bucky Barnes is a senator now. That was the only thing that mattered
I
going
guess.
forward. That was it.
I don't know. I would recommend that movie because
it was
I
pretty
think
good.
that's
It was
I think
okay.
it's a
Yeah.
solid movie. That's some
like
of
I
my
said,
favorite action
I'm not
sequences.
hating. I'm not hating on it because I
Yeah.
haven't watched it, but I'm just saying is I didn't watch it. I ended up watching Thunderbolts, and the only thing I was confused about was the fact that when the movie started, Bucky was a senator. Oh, and there was a new president, but like, what? We don't
Yeah.
even really see the president ever until now. So,
Right,
like,
but I think if Marvel did kind of, I mean, they do a good job. I like Marvel and what they have to present, but just the shows, I feel like they feel like work, like a homework
Now I'm
that I
gonna
don't
I'm gonna
really
give you
want
I'm
to
gonna
do.
give you the I'm gonna give you my 2 cents on this. I kind of disagree with you
All right.
because I don't think the thing is I had the same thought process when they first came out because I thought it wasn't gonna be very much like a movie, which obviously it is different. It's obviously different. However, the way a lot of these are still filmed, though, at least the original, the OG ones, I feel like they were filmed. Some of them were filmed like it felt like I was still watching a movie at some points.
Yes, yes, yes.
Here's the thing: I can understand what you're saying. However, I don't think it drastically like brings down the viewing experience for Marvel. Are there some pointless ones? Yes. Like we said earlier, Echo and Agatha probably or whatever. And it does suck that now a lot of those shows that I do feel are good, some of those are just it's like no one cares anymore because a lot of those were built up to Kang and now they're nothing, because Kang's gone. Like Kang's done.
one of
But
them being Loki, one of the best shows.
I know. However,
Being one
they
of
did
the
fix. They
best
did well.
shows.
They did well
They
with
did.
that in the second season.
Yeah, because it wasn't something
You
that
do,
was
Damon.
directly
You do know
focused
that
on.
Loki. You do know that Loki is the.
I know he
contr-
becomes like he becomes very very
Okay.
powerful. I've seen
Yes,
that. I've heard that.
he holds the timelines all together. Okay, that is definitely what you need to know before
Yeah.
Doomsday, because Tom
Right.
Hiddleston, Loki's gonna
Okay.
be like a massive
let me
part
let
of
me
that
change
movie.
my look on the shows, and I think they aren't. What's the word? I
No,
feel like
dude.
they gotta.
This is hot takes. You're supposed to have people
Yeah.
disagree with
Okay,
it, though.
that's
So,
true.
like, if that's
We
the way
don't
you
have
feel,
to
that's the way you
agree,
feel.
Yeah.
That's the whole
Okay,
point
you're
of
right.
hot
Screw
takes.
the shows. Hate the shows, man.
This
I
guy.
mean, I don't entirely disagree because it was like
I don't
I-
disagree
it's-
fully,
it's
but
kind of a
I
agree in
still
some
think
parts
it's
and disagree in some parts because it's like
Okay.
I like how we get individualized stories and in a longer format because it's like you get 6 45-minute
Right.
episodes. That's like 2 or 3 movies
Yeah.
that you're getting on one character, and it
One
gives you a
ca-
little
right,
more time
right.
to
That's
slow
true.
down
I
and
get it.
watch character, and then especially look at ones like Moon Knight that did extremely well on a character that a lot of people didn't hear about, never knew about until the show came out.
You know what's
That
crazy
show
about that?
Did
There's
very
actually
very good.
There's a lot of people that hate that show. I was shocked when I first heard about that. I'm not kidding. That is one of my favorite Marvel shows, hands down.
I agree.
But that movie did not get received as well as I thought, or that TV show did not get. That show did not get received as well as I thought it was going to.
It's probably because everybody that is they're MCU fans. It's not relevant. It's not relevant in the slightest bit. It's just a side spin-off story. Same thing with
Well-
Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi was a good movie. It's just not relevant. Like it's hard
Yeah, they
to
just didn't know.
Right.
The problem is
Right.
they just didn't know what they were doing for like a
A
phase
long
and a
time.
half. Like
A
a
long
phase and a
time.
half. They just didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Cameron,
Cameron, I
let's hear
think it's
yours.
you for
Here
Well,
yours, Cam.
your hot take.
Well, that's the problem.
I want to hear
That
the
is-
hottest take possible right now, bro.
That's the problem though. It's like we kind of
Why? Wind it
gotta be
up and just
something.
really
There's gotta
be
just
something.
release
Okay.
Wind
it.
it up. And...
Okay. All right. Well, we kind of pre-discussed this, just to make sure that we're all on the same page about what to talk about, and I might have slightly mentioned the fact that I personally believe that Quantumania is only considered a bad movie because of what I was just talking about, the relevance to Kang Dynasty.
I gotta
Here's
fill in,
here's
bro.
the thing.
I gotta tap into the Quantumania lore.
He has not seen Quantumania, and
That's
the
the
problem
issue.
is with me is I saw it once. I saw it in theater once, and then I didn't see it afterwards. So I will say though, I'm not going to disagree with him because when I saw it in theater, my brain immediately went to like, oh, this is a good movie. This is an 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10 movie. Like I enjoyed myself while I was watching this. However, people talked about how horrible this movie was, so maybe I have to rewatch it. I don't know. Maybe my brain will change.
And
but
I'm not
from
sitting
what
here
I
saying
remember,
that it's a top tier movie. I'm simply just saying like it's not as bad as people say. Like it was kind of a fun insert. It was it was on the Ant-Man storyline. Some things got bigger as the stuff went on in the Ant-Man storyline, and I think it was a good. It would have been a good tie-in to the Kang story, but it didn't happen, and that movie
On the
became
next
totally
pod?
irrelevant.
On the next pod, I will help give my opinion because I'll watch that within the next 72 hours. Maybe actually no, maybe not. I'll watch it. I'll watch it on the car ride.
That
on
one's
Saturday.
more or less, less of a discussion between us because, like I said, we had
Because
the
we don't
premature
know-
conversation
well,
about
yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and we can't really
The
discuss
only
it
thing-
entirely. We'll let the people,
the
tell me
only
if
thing
I'm
that I can
crazy.
remember from Quantumania that, like, when I think about it, I'm like, wow, that really didn't make sense, is the fact that they had Kang fully lose on his, like, first true introduction to Marvel.
But that
like-
was before he had gone through the lengths of assembling every version of himself. Like
I
I
guess,
think
but,
he had only
I-
touched the tips of what he could do, and then the end of it, your post credit scene is seeing thousands of him, and you see the lengths that he went to because he
But-
lost.
again, though, the problem was in that specific time frame of Marvel is that was all they were doing was constantly, oh, you gotta wait for the next one. Oh, you gotta wait for the next one.
Yeah,
And then that's
yeah.
why people perceive that as horrible.
Throw a
even in
show
the
in there.
moment. No,
yeah,
exactly.
but it's but
And
that was
also,
around the
like,
time that they were pushing the fact that the next Avengers was literally Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. Like this
Yes,
was the
yeah.
storyline. Kang was the storyline.
But
And
then
that
yet again, though,
push
you also have to think
Quantumania
about-
and you give
you
him
also
an
do-
origin story, and then you
also
give
have to think about-
the post credit scene showing what it was going to become. Like it, I think it was a good building.
The problem is also that they probably were pushing that way too fast because we were supposed to. This is gonna sound insane. We were supposed to have two Marvel movies in the same, or two. I should reiterate,
Avengers.
two Avengers movies in
Yeah.
the same goddamn year. How
Wasn't
is that
Doomsday
even going
supposed
to
to
be
come out
possible?
like
It was supposed to come out in May of 2026.
It was
Well,
supposed to come
the
out-
But then
newest
it got
Avengers
delayed.
movie. The newest
Yeah.
Avengers movie. Which,
the Kang Dynasty
which
was supposed
would
to
have
come
been
out
King
in May
Dynasty.
of 2025.
Yeah, it's supposed to come out during the Thunderbolts. I think it was the same day as Thunderbolts.
Yeah. It was
Might-
like
might-
somewhere
Something
in
like that.
range.
Somewhere
in
around there.
range,
Yeah. It was like around the same time frame. Yeah.
Yeah, we would have already had an Avengers movie, but we've talked
Yes.
about it like 4 times already. Like,
Yeah.
the Kang stuff got scrapped, and
Yeah.
that changed a lot of stuff. And
I'm not gonna disagree with you on your Quantum Mania thing, but I don't know. It's tough to really say anything because I would have to rewatch it. I would have
I
to
think
rewatch
it's
it.
fine.
I think it's kind of the same thing saying that, like, I don't even know, like, in the sense that, say we go watch Fantastic Four, and it's like you're in that sense that this movie is going to be good because it's the build up for what's going to happen in the next Avengers movie, and then Doom gets scrapped. Now Fantastic Four is just not a good movie because it's not
Yes,
relevant.
right.
Like, that's my thought process with it. Is like, I think Fantastic
That's
Four is going to
interesting.
be a
That's
good
actually
movie.
a very, very
It's going to be a good movie, but it's only going to be, the hype level that it's at because it's like this is the movie before our new Avengers movie.
right.
Like,
But also,
There has to be
our
some
new
development
villain.
in it.
I will say also though, the Fantastic Four is supposed to be something that is they are one of the biggest, if not the biggest groups in Marvel. They
Yes.
are the
It's
best
kind of
family,
a
and they are.
stretch. I did it first.
But they are one of the most popular, if not the most popular, comic book runs ever, and they have never gotten a true comic accurate portrait on the big screen.
Yeah.
Portrayal, I should say.
Yeah. And that's
On the
that's what
big
I'm saying.
screen,
I
and
think
now
it's
this
a little,
is the first.
It's a little tough for me to compare Quantum Mania and Fantastic Four, but I'm
Yeah.
simply saying, like, we're at the same point now where Quantum Mania was supposed to be that last movie that we were supposed to get before everything kind of, diverted into focusing on Kang, and now I think Fantastic Four is going to be the last movie we get before everything starts to focus on Doom. And you have to imagine if, we go watch Fantastic Four, it's this great movie, it's, this build up for the new villain, and then, say hypothetically Doom gets scratched, this movie doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
So, that's
get it.
typically all I'm saying. It's, I
I
think it weighs a heavy
Very
portion.
reasonable take. Eric, what's your hot take?
All right, I'm gonna
hear it.
go. Here's the okay. I've been trying to think of a hot take. There's
Spewing
two that
hot.
I'm thinking of. So I'm gonna go with this one because
Okay.
this one I have felt this way for a long time. Ever since since I've watched the movie the first time. I personally believe that Ant-Man and the Wasp, the second movie in the Ant-Man franchise, is one of, if not the worst Marvel movie ever made.
I really don't disagree, even though I'm sitting here talking about
I'm trying to think of-
Quantumania.
I'm trying to think of my worst
Yeah, I know.
Marvel movie.
Huh?
It's gotta be. Yeah, I don't. There's not really
See, that's
a
the
lot
problem. It's very tough for me to make hot takes because a lot of my favorite movies are a lot of the movies that are
of very favorable.
very loved. Like
Yes.
the only other one I can think of is because I posted a top 10 Marvels on my TikTok, and this one kind of got a little bit of flack in the comment section. Is that Thunderbolts is already a top 10 MCU movie, which I guess that one could be hotter. That one could be more of a hot
I think
take.
that one's hot just because.
All right, we'll go with that
I
one.
think-
We'll go with that one.
Okay, I just feel like
We'll go with that
there
one.
are 10 better Marvel movies than that. than
See, that's
Thunderbolts.
the thing. Here's the thing. So this will lead right into our next segment of top
Yep,
10 Marvel
perfect.
movies.
Yeah.
So I was trying to make this list, and every time I looked at a Marvel movie that I'm like, oh, I love this movie, but do I love it more than Thunderbolts? And I know that movie came out this year.
Yeah.
I know
Okay.
this movie.
So
Movie
you
came
have
out this year.
you're applying the recency bias, and that's kind of
I
the
am.
problem.
That's
But I know it came out this
Yeah.
year. But at the same time, every time I think about that movie, and then I go back to think about movies that I've watched in the past, and obviously I did see Thunderbolts twice in theater, so I do have a pretty good full outline of the movie, like pretty cemented in my brain. And then I would think the movie that got brought up. There was two movies that got brought up a lot in my comment section. Was the original Iron Man
I have that at 10.
and the original Black Panther. Now here's the thing. Black Panther, I do love Black Panther. However, over time, it kind of got old, which Thunderbolts might. But the thing, okay, the main thing that that makes me love Thunderbolts so much is the personal connection that I made with Thunderbolts while watching the movie. There was a very mental health driven aspect
I was
of
about to
that
say
movie.
I was about to like help you spit it out because I'm on the same boat as you. That movie was a hidden mental health movie. And
It is. No, it's not, I don't think it's hidden. I think they made
It's not
it a
hidden.
point
It's
for
definitely not
people,
hidden. But I have had I have
True,
definitely
that's true.
had some struggle. I have definitely had my fair amount of mental health. I shouldn't say issues, but struggles in the past, and that movie definitely was one of the movies that I related to it, and that's why it hit me harder. And The Void, but like, dude, Sentry was amazing. The Void was one of the most like terrifying villains I have ever seen in my life. David Harbour's hilarious. Yelena's a great lead. I was not, and also I think why it's hitting me harder is because I was not expecting that movie to be so damn good.
I don't think anybody
and
was.
then it was, and I was like, holy shit, this movie's amazing.
Characters that are just kind of thrown together from a bunch of different shows and movies that we've kind of seen. They were side characters. And then they go ahead and they but they introduce the fact that they're bringing in the Void. And if you follow comics, you know the Void is one of the strongest characters in the multiverse. And you're like, how are they going to beat this dude? How are they going to beat this dude?
Well, they didn't.
That was the thing.
Does it bother you guys that when the Void kind of made that that girl disappear, right?
Yeah.
Did it bother you how? Right, that was crazy.
That was wild.
They should have held that like dark weight to it. Like did it bother you that they brought everybody back? Like the moment Yelena.
No, because their goal wasn't to beat.
Because everybody knows that they don't die when they go into the Void.
Okay.
And they show that.
They made that pretty obvious that nobody dies. It just fully messes with them
in the darkest
replaying their very worst memories.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I
think it was dramatic enough. I mean, it's
I think it was
you literally
good.
put it in there that
and then they also what they did so well was in the post-credit scene. And again, there was here's the main idea of the post-credit scene that I stopped myself. The main idea of the post-credit scene, I think, was they showed the Fantastic Four ship. However, they had so many sub-ideas throughout that post-credit scene that people were so focused on the Fantastic Four ship, they didn't even think about the fact that the Avengers were split up. Not a lot of people were talking about that. And also the fact that Sentry cannot be Sentry without potentially turning back into the Void. Sentry will become Void again at some point, and it's going to be terrifying for the Avengers.
Oh, 100%. It's going to be at the worst point, and I think that's going to, that's something we could talk about, later down the road.
Yeah.
It's going to come into effect in Secret Wars.
I really just I think that movie
I can
it
see
just
it being
blew me
9
away.
too. I can see it being 9.
Yes. And I will say it's not high. It's not high in the top 10. Like I said, it is just I think there is only 8 better movies than Thunderbolts in the MCU.
I think I don't disagree with you, but at the same time I need to give it some time to marinate a little bit because their recency bias is 100% real. But I will also sit there and tell you that I do resonate very, very highly with that movie, and I do agree with you on the sense that it was very refreshing to go sit down in a movie theater, not expecting much out of a movie, and then you get this absolute what seemed like a masterpiece
It also made me give a shit about the characters that I'm watching on screen. That also.
Yeah, and it was
I cared about everybody I saw.
compiling a bunch of random characters that we've seen in different TV shows and movies. They were side characters, and putting them all on this one team and then kind of just like, here we go. It's like you don't expect anything of that. And then they turn it into this amazing movie, and it's like now these are main characters and nobody's mad about it. Not a soul is mad about it unless you're just a hater. But it's like because they did so well with that movie, it's like now you have a good group of people that people actually want to watch.
Yeah.
No, it's perfect then. I think that's a good segue into how
that was hot takes.
Eric's number.
That was hot takes. And like I said, that'll be a good segment into the top 10 list. I think. So what we should do is we should go over our top 10. We'll do it quickly, and the first thing, and then if you hear something that you think is crazy, then we'll talk about it. And you can only. How about this? We'll all read it, and then each person. Or then we can only like talk about like one certain thing that we think is like pretty crazy.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, just whoever wants to. No. I'm going last.
Okay, I'll go first because I have already talked about this before.
Yeah, you mentioned the Thunderbolts.
So my top 10 from 10 to number 1, I have Age of Ultron at 10, Thunderbolts at 9, No Way Home at 8, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 at 7. Avengers Endgame at 6, the original Avengers at 5, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 at 4, Captain America Winter Soldier at 3, Civil War 2, Infinity War.
Okay. 1. I got one thing. Okay. I personally cannot have Age of Ultron below Thunderbolts. That's mine.
Interesting.
I think Age of Ultron, because look, Thunderbolts has its very family dynamic, right? That's why we like it. You put a bunch. Avengers felt a lot like coworkers, so to speak, but the Thunderbolts felt like more of like a family and like actual friends. However, Age of Ultron, it had that family like friend dynamic, right? You have that scene.
It was early
Tony's party when they were very friendly. It was before obviously the breakout in Civil War, but it felt so connected. Like all the Avengers felt connected. That fight in Sokovia, was it? Yeah, Sokovia.
Mm-hmm.
When they're defending that middle like metal beacon and all
touches the
8 of them at the
Yes,
time.
words.
Yeah, 8 of them at the time are just fighting around, protecting that metal like rod in the middle. I think that was. I just don't see Thunderbolts being higher, but to each their own.
I truly do agree, not in the sense of targeting out Thunderbolts, more or less just saying I think 10's kind of low for Ultron.
Interesting. See, here's the thing. I thought it was kind of crazy to put Age of Ultron in the top 10 because a lot of people I see online, they don't talk about Age of Ultron enough. People don't talk about Age of Ultron enough.
The villain was amazing.
Oh, 100%. Ultron is still
Ultron
one
is
of
like
the greatest.
easy top 5 Marvel villain, probably top 3. That's
top
amazing.
3.
Yeah.
Top 3.
I think it was the last true Hulk. I feel like we see. We don't really. I mean, we see him in Ragnarok a little bit, but like.
Oh, that does not count.
In this scale, this is the last Hulk we see. We see him, falling through buildings, breaking buildings. We obviously see that fight with
The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
The Incredible Hulk. Yeah.
Yes, the Incredible
we
Hulk.
get
And you could say Red Hulk, but
Red Hulk was pretty good. I like. Yeah,
it was pretty good, but it wasn't
for this one. They introduced us
so
to Wanda.
The Age of Ultron is your outlier for my list.
I think that's your outlier.
Yeah.
I think it's rated a little bit too lowly, in my opinion.
In my opinion,
fair. That's fair. I'm not saying that's bad because I love Age of Ultron. Although I think it's the weakest of the Avenger movies, but I still love it.
I have it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Should I do mine?
I'm interested. Interested.
Mine's really not that like. There's not anything where it's like. I don't think at least.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
10-1. Yeah, Iron Man 1 at 10.
10?
Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, or Iron Man 1 at 10. Right. Guardians of the Galaxy at 9. Avengers: Age of Ultron at 8. Endgame at 7. No Way Home at 6. Captain America: Winter Soldier at 5. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 at 4. Avengers 1 at 3. Civil War at 2. Infinity War 1.
Yeah, there's not much there. There
It's
really
like,
isn't.
There's not much
you could say Iron
there.
Man, I think, but I think Iron Man was just such a good movie to start the MCU. It was just you saw him go through a great character development.
Possibly the only one, and this isn't even that crazy. Where you have it's not that crazy, but I think it's better than number 5 is
Yeah.
Winter Soldier. That's it.
It's,
And
it's
that's not even
5
that
instead of
crazy,
what?
because you still have a top 5. You still
You
have
think
top
you think
5.
you think Captain America: Winter Soldier would be better than
I have a
Guardians
top 3.
3?
I have a
Yeah,
top
so
3.
you have it better than Guardians 3, or and better than
Yeah.
Avengers 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
I
so
can
I
see
don't
that.
agree
I
with
can
that
see
though. I have Winter Soldier not on the lower end, but it's still in my top 10. But it's on the
Winter
lower end of my
Soldier.
top 10.
Winter Soldier has some of my favorite action sequences, and
Literally the
It's a
best.
great
and it's
movie,
very
but it's like-
grounded. I love how
Yeah.
grounded it is.
Yeah.
The only like crazy thing is like the ship scenes, with at the end of the
But it
movie.
still
That's like the
feels
only
very-
wild.
It still feels
Exactly.
very, in a way.
And here's the thing:
Nick Fury
me and
can buy
you,
that.
we only have it 2 spots. It's only 2 spots.
Yeah.
It's not that big a
It's not- yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
But
I think
that's
our
the
only
only thing.
difference. Our only difference, I think,
Yes.
between movies was just Iron Man and Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
I think
and
we had
that's
the
and
exact
they were
same
in
deal.
they were in the last 2 spots. So
Yeah.
it is
Whatever.
what it is.
All right, Cameron.
Cameron.
Let's hear yours.
All right,
I'm interested.
Okay, I'm gonna shift
Thor
one
the
of
Dark
these
World
movies
one.
out. I'm gonna shift one of these movies out because you did mention that it isn't technically a part of the MCU earlier.
Okay.
Which I'm just gonna shift everything up. So
Wait,
Deadpool.
what movie are you taking? The
Deadpool.
original?
no. I mean, you want to count Deadpool, Wolverine?
No,
I'm
that's
gonna stick that
MCU.
one-
That,
I want to stick
that's
that one
MCU.
out. I want to stick that
But
one
that
out.
Yeah.
that movie is the whole point of that movie is to introduce them into the MCU though.
Yes, but I mean, okay, whatever. We'll keep it. We'll keep it in
Yeah.
there.
Keep it in. The only
And this
ones
is-
are ones are Deadpool and Deadpool 2 because those were set
Right.
in the Fox
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah.
Okay, neither of those are top 10 for me. Okay, so at my 10 I have Iron Man 1.
Okay.
My 9 is Winter Soldier, Captain America: Winter Soldier. My 8 is Guardians of the Galaxy 1. 7 is Deadpool, Wolverine. 6 is Civil War. 5 is Age of Ultron. 4 is Endgame. 3 is Infinity War. Now my 2 and my 1, No Way Home is number 2, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is my number 1.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay,
the
yeah, yeah.
main
These are-
thing,
these are
the
the
absolute
outliers.
main thing is Winter Soldier below Deadpool and
Deadpool,
Wolverine.
Wolverine. Yes,
What the
thank you.
fuck are you talking about, dude?
It's pure. That was one of
Absolutely
the
not.
most refreshing. Like, I don't know if I resonate well with the comedy, and I don't know if it's resonating well with the comedy. It was a very
Well,
very
Cameron.
fun movie to watch.
Cameron, yeah, just to clarify, this is also based off Cameron's opinion of being fun and enjoyable to watch, not necessarily a.
Okay.
I wouldn't
but,
focus on fun.
But Winter
I would-
Soldier
I
is
would
very
focus on-
fun and favorite.
It
It
is.
is a very fun movie.
It
It
is,
is,
but
it is,
Deadpool Wolverine,
100%. I
Deadpool
agree.
Wolverine, I can see
This
how
is
someone
this
can
is
enjoy
rated
that
off
more.
of pure.
I cannot. I'm
enjoyability.
sorry. Me personally, I cannot justify that putting
I understand.
It's hard
Deadpool
to
Wolverine
justify,
above
completely
Winter
understand.
Soldier.
I completely
Yeah, I can-
understand.
Winter
If you have
Soldier is
Guardians-
an easy top 3 for me. Like
And wait, you have
easy
Guardians of the
top
Galaxy 3 over Infinity
number-
War and Civil War?
I'm extremely biased on Guardians of the Galaxy. 3.
See
And
that one I'm okay with because that is a very very touching story,
one of
It
my
is.
literally my.
and
It's
James Gunn
between
did
my
all
one-
those characters perfectly.
It's
in
between my
opinion.
1 and my 2. Like Spider-Man and Rocket are my 2. Like
See, I think No Way Home
absolutely
over-
most favorite, absolute most
Honest to
favorite
God.
characters in all of Marvel and have been
I
for a
think No
very
Way
long
Home.
time.
I think No Way Home over Infinity War is crazier.
That's
And like I
pretty
said,
crazy too.
out of pure
I think that's
enjoyability,
crazier.
I think if
Yeah.
you take away the aspect of going to see that movie in the movie theater and the hype around that movie at the movie
Yep.
theater, that movie probably isn't above Infinity War because Infinity War was also incredible to go watch in the movie theater. But
Right.
I'll tell you right now, those build-up sequences to like, are we really going to see
Cam, did
Tobey
we watch it
Maguire
together?
and Andrew Gar? Yeah, bro, we had a huge group at the movie
Yeah,
theater. And we all
yeah.
went to go
That's what
watch
I'm
it.
saying.
Like,
That was a great time.
the build up to like, are we really going to see Toby and Andrew? And then
Right.
wondering if they're going to pull this off, if they're going to do this,
Yeah.
and then it finally happening, and
Seeing the
growing
guy
up
walking to a
watching
theater
those
with
movies.
the Spider-Man outfit. No,
I mean,
I
that's
can
what I'm
see,
saying.
Yeah.
It's the
It was-
pure
it was-
enjoyability of the
it was
aspect
fun.
of what happened watching that movie, and it plays a part in it 100%. I've watched
Now,
that movie one time in the movie theater, and the night that we watched that at the movie theater was one of the best nights ever.
Cameron, I do think though, if you were to rewatch Infinity War and No Way Home right now, like I'm talking like right after this, you watch both, there's just no way you were gonna.
The problem is I can't go watch No Way Home because you can't watch it anywhere.
That's true.
You can't watch on Disney
can't
Plus?
watch it.
No, that's
No,
not
you
anywhere,
can't.
dude. They
Dude,
didn't-
I am telling you, rewatch Infinity War. Infinity War is the greatest thing Marvel
Infinity
has
War
ever
is
put
so
out, and it is not
I've
even
honestly
close.
been thinking about rewatching some of the movies because one of the movies that I have rewatched actually multiple times is Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and that movie will be staying at my number one because I have watched that movie multiple
I get,
times.
yeah, okay, that's
I get
fine.
it.
I'm okay with that, but I'm
Guardians being
sorry.
at 1 is fine.
There's two main issues with your list, in my opinion. Is there's no way that No Way Home is better, isn't better than Infinity War. No chance.
Yeah.
And then there's no chance that Deadpool Wolverine's over Winter Soldier.
It may just be a sense of.
When was the last time you watched Winter Soldier?
I'd say it's probably been a couple years. It hasn't been since it came out,
It's
or like.
so
And you've
good.
only
And I say a couple
Deadpool
years.
Wolverine's only been out for a year.
I say a couple years, and I mean a couple years, like max 2 years, because I have gone back and rewatched a lot of the early movies recently. So
That's fair, though.
You know?
I mean, everybody has their own opinion. If Cameron liked, Deadpool Wolverine, I think the theater experience for Deadpool Wolverine was great. Seeing Human Torch, Chris Evans' Human Torch come back, awesome.
That was
Right? I
fire.
think that was great.
That was fire.
I think that was great.
I
But
think
at the
I
same
think the
time-
introduction of all of the characters that they brought in and the way that they had those characters
Oh, yeah.
in that movie made that movie super enjoyable to watch.
Yep.
And it's like you can't sit here and say that the action scenes in that movie were better than the action scenes in Winter Soldier. There's different aspects of these movies that we all enjoy, and it's for me it was the characters they introduced, how fun it was to watch, the thing it was paced properly.
It included so many elements. It included, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Loki, but they showed the TVA. They showed Thor on the screen, dying or whatever it was.
Yeah.
They showed, Chris Evans' Human Torch. Showed Blade. What's her name? Elektra, I think. Yeah,
Gambit,
Elektra.
we had so many
Gambit.
characters.
Gambit
that
was
been
so good.
introduced
Okay,
and
I
that
need
were
to
so
emphasize
fun.
though, I'm not saying that Deadpool Wolverine is a bad movie.
I know, I know.
That
we know,
movie is
yeah,
like
I
an
know.
8.5 out of 10 in my
Yeah.
opinion, but Winter Soldier is like almost a 10 out of 10. It's like
Yeah,
a
it's
9.5, 10 out of 10.
So maybe this
type
brings
of
up the
movie.
fact that maybe I do need to sit down and rewatch.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
movies that we all need to rewatch, but like, dude,
Bro, I need
those two specifically, like, where'd you have Civil War also? I'm trying to...
I think it was like my 5 or my 6. It's my 6. It's just below Ultron.
Eric, that's 2 for you, right? Mine's 2.
That's
I
his
that only
2.
behind Infinity War.
Civil War is his 2.
Yeah, that's your two, right?
Uh-huh.
That's my 2.
That's what you
My
said?
two's-
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my
two
two. Our
Civil
top
War,
two is
yeah.
the same.
Yeah,
Here's the
two
thing,
same.
though. I could swap Civil War and Winter Soldier so easily. So easily I could swap them, but
wait, you have Winter Soldier
either
at
way...
three?
Yeah. I could swap both
Where's
of them.
Avengers 1?
5.
What the? Dude, what?
We're kind of like swap though. You have
Yeah.
Avengers at 3, and Winter Soldier at 5. I have Avengers at 5.
Where's Guardians
Civil War
3?
4. Our top
Oh,
five's
okay.
pretty fucking
Okay.
similar.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I think it's the same movies. It just flipped a little
it's
bit.
just like, yeah. That's fair then. I guess where just how it resonates with you is where you're gonna place it. That's
Yeah.
fine.
All right, so we are so far over time at this point than we
Yeah.
wanted to be. So
Oh,
we are going to end
sorry.
it here. So basically,
One
what
time.
we learned from this whole thing is Cameron has horrible taste.
All right. Okay.
All right. All
I
right.
think
You
so-
want to know what happens in Fantastic Four?
Oh, jail, bro. Just come here.
Say it. Spoiler for everybody that's going to see this
No,
tonight.
I'm not that guy.
Bro.
I'm not that guy.
Be that person.
You're gonna get a Pedro Pascal, Reed
Exactly.
Richards fist coming through your window.
Yo.
Just stretch.
You're gonna stretch all up and through your vents and hit you.
All right. So that
was
was
fun.
our inaugural episode to this new
Yeah.
series, new idea that we have. Let us know if you like this. If you don't like this, then I guess we'll go back to the sports thing, or we'll just go F ourselves, you know?
Yeah, we'll just throw the entire podcast away.
But this will be the first time we have not uploaded videos since I believe it was March 13th. It's been forever since we made an episode. So if anybody is still seeing this, give us new channel name ideas or series name ideas.
Any
Let us
kind
know
of-
what you think about this. Let us know
or
what
just
you think
make a
about
podcast
this.
Name, Eric, Cameron, and David talk about movies. That could be the podcast. name.
Straightforward. Hey,
Pretty
I like
straightforward.
it. Straight to the point, you know.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes. It's not very catchy. Very very hard for people to search up. But
We'll
Eric,
figure
Cameron,
something
and
out.
David talk about movies. That's a
Give
I
us
don't think that fits
give
the
us
character
channel
limit.
name ideas. Tell us what you think about this. Tell us what you think about Fantastic Four. Even though we're probably gonna make another movie about Jesus, another
Eric, we're
episode,
gonna
another
$500 million
episode
budget.
on Friday about our initial reactions. But I believe that is everything. So thank you guys for watching. Yeah, and always remember that Cameron has horrible taste in Marvel movies.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Throw
Appreciate you
'em
guys
up.
for watching.
Throw them up. All right. Peace.